hello YouTube, welcome back to an FPL Do-Parter video. It's Damo _23, and in today's video we launch the new series where we go in depth and quickly break down my previous game week and look forward to the next game week in the future. In today's video, because it's the first one and you may not have seen the content on Paulie's channel leading up to the launch of our new channel, I'm going to quickly run through my game week 1 to 5 results, game week 6 and how we went, my plans for game week 7, and if you're lucky, I might even mention about a game week 8 transfer that I have planned in the back of my mind. More importantly, as we are a new channel, please do like and subscribe. It does help us reach more content viewers and obviously reach more engaged FPL managers that will enjoy the content for the next remaining game weeks. As mentioned, we are going to start with game week number 1. As we click through, you'll see it was my starter team. Couple of obvious mistakes after 6 game weeks of data, the Iverson Ward double up and Digne. We will go through the rest of the side as well. The main reason for going and stepping back in time is to show when the wildcard ensued and why my rank's now out to 5.8 mil. Game week 2 was another solid week of 65, and then game week 3, where everybody else had a bit of a decline, we did as well. I did say in a live stream between game week 3 and 4, I really should not have wildcarded because I do think my team was in good stead. However, the Ward Iverson double up definitely a pre-season and early season trap. As you can notice from this team here, and to my wildcard team as well, this was the week where Haaland was mentioned about being rested in a Pep Guardiola press conference. As we now know, that is definitely not the case. And the big switch of rank between game week 4 and game week 5, where I did okay for not having Haaland, and most of the community did, and this is why we find ourselves in game week 6 with a 5.8 mil overall rank. It's important to look to the future, and it's important to look at the things we did get right in game week 6 and give us optimism for game week 7. As you can look in game week 6, we got 45 points, a -4, which allowed me to get Haaland back in, who he captain. He is a fantasy rank killer if you don't have him, and highly recommend, if you do not have Haaland, you get on him. He's also proving that he is not rotation proof, but he's starting 99% of games for City this year. And he will come off the bench if the game is won, and more than likely in that circumstance, he has scored points. Or if the game's on the line, he's going to play 90, as City will look to score, a la what he did against Villa on the weekend. In terms of other players there on the side as well that we will mention, Sanchez I have no worries in. I do think the Brighton defence is okay. Obviously a 1-pointer, conceding inside the first minute. It's all things that you've seen and been echoed in previous videos gone by, or in the live stream, which we do put out on the channel. And if you are interested in watching some live streams, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and that will allow you to receive notifications of when we do go live on the channel, as we do plan at least 2 live streams a week. Other players to mention there, definitely the stars of the show, which are Haaland and Trippier. Gross as well for a 5-pointer, could have had so much more. He's my standout in the team, gets in great attacking positions via the eye test, and more importantly, always seems to be an integral part into what Brighton do moving forward. If he's out on the right, he's whipping balls in, and if he's through the middle, he's in positions where he's creating a high amount of expected goal and assist stats, which is exactly what you want from a midfielder that has now rose to 6 mil and is still only owned by 27%. Other players there that we'll mention is Cancelo. Obviously, City are conceding at the minute. They have the least amount of XG against in the entire league. There will come a time where the XG and the means will level out, and Cancelo is definitely a player I'll be looking to hold long term, as City clean sheets are almost guaranteed throughout a full season. Trent was only 2 minutes away from 5 extra points, a point for paying more than 60, 4 points for a clean sheet. I don't think there's any worries. Salah I'll touch on in a second. I have no qualms over Martinelli or Jesus before Everton. Both are fantastic players, both are highly owned by the community, and And lastly, but most importantly, Martinelli did score a goal that arguably should have stood this weekend. Aronson, out of the midfielders out there at Leeds, especially with Rodrigo gone, I'm quite happy with. I do think Siniestra is the pick if you are looking for a Leeds player moving forward, but Aronson in the 10, yet again maybe a little unlucky to not return, but more importantly, very nailed on for minutes, as you can see from my highlighting. Secondly, more importantly, does have a few assists, has a decent expected goal involvement, and is only owned by 2% of the population. Could provide a very nice punt over game week 7, 9 and 10, especially as I have already wildcarded. Touching on wildcard and what you should do, I'm a big believer in game week 9 being a fantastic place to wildcard because it brings me on to the point of Salah. He's not been himself, mentioned in the live stream about his positioning. There is definitely a case to sell. Would I sell this week before Wolves? I would not. And judging from what I'm saying, I am planning on rolling my transfer. Yes, Jimenez is the glaring punt that has not gone right. For those that were eagle-eyed or followed the previous content, I did go Isaac, expecting him to start in his first match week, didn't get a clearance, and moved him out before he scored against Liverpool. Main reason was Jimenez did have obviously Bournemouth and Southampton. There was no inkling of an injury or fatigue as mentioned on the FPL website. Unfortunately, you've got to live and die by your punts. My punt of Jimenez over Tony is another one that can go down as a rank killer, where I punted against Haaland for De Bruyne on my wild card. In terms of the team for next week, very happy with the fixtures. Expect a clean sheet for Sanchez against Bournemouth and a return of the Brighton clean sheets. Also expect that Gross will be in and amongst the points going forward, get a clean sheet bonus as well, and could really provide a big return. I am riding Salah as of right now. There is potential to move to Sterling, but I do want to mention a Game Week 8 transfer that I have in mind. Trent, Trippier, Cancelo, and Saliba are the back four. I think Trent has the ability to get a return this week. Trippier is fantastic. The main worry is Cancelo conceding against Spurs, which is likely, but I don't see the need to sell to get him back in, where I really want to hold him long term. And yet again, the triple Everton fixture there for Arsenal between Jesus, Martinelli and Saliba have no worries at all. Aronson against Nottingham Forest is kind of says itself. And when we're in a world where Haaland's got the nod as captaincy in a game against Spurs, where Salah has Wolves, kind of shows you the thinking that we might be looking at selling Salah soon. Your bench is as so's, very standard bench, playing defender, best midfielder option, Ward and Jimenez, who will be transferred out next week. My last point is that is my expected points for this week. It does have me captaining Salah, which I am tempted into doing, but I feel like Haaland is almost guaranteed to score any game he plays. More importantly, in Game Week 8, my question to you is this. As you can see, Salah is no longer there. There's money in the bank, and there'll be more moves to plan from this. But do you think Bowen or another player along those lines and a downgrade of Salah is justifiable? I do think it is a bit of a stretch to say he's a bad player, but in the current Liverpool system, is he worth holding at 13 mil if we're always going to captain Haaland? Let me know in the comment section down below if you would make this transfer. That is my plan for Game Week 8. My Game Week 7 team is on screen. How many points do you think I'll get? And more importantly, can I come back from a 5.8 mil rank? And where do you think I'll finish this year? From Damo, give it a like and subscribe. Give Paulie's videos a watch as well. And we'll see you in another live stream or another video on the FPL Gameweek channel.